Okay, welcome to another episode of the Mortgage Motivation Podcast, and I'm your host, Gary Taylor. And today I have a special guest, my girl, Monica Peterson. She's going to be joining us today. She is our agent spotlight. And before she gets started, I want to introduce my friend, Monica. I met Monica, I want to say, you correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say like around 2009, 2010, when I first joined the unit. And Monica was one of the first faces that I met at the Delaware Air National Guard when I first got transitioned over to my new unit. And ever since then, me and Monica have been cool with each other. Then I found out later on that she was a real estate agent. So I had an opportunity to do quite a few transactions with her. And I definitely wanted to bring it into the podcast so you guys get a chance to meet my friend Monica, the real estate agent for Keller Williams. And I'm going to let her go ahead and introduce herself and tell us a little bit about yourself, Monica.
All right, Gary. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me. A little bit about me. I joined the Air Force back in 1994, and I was regular Air Force at that point. Then I got out, joined the Army Guard in Texas, and I was like, what in the world did I just do? So I jumped back into the air. Yes.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, I jumped back into the Air Guard. This is all down in San Antonio. The Air Guard didn't have any positions, so I went to the Army. And I came back to the Air, learned about the AGR program, which allows you to keep going, for your active duty service.
Right.
And then I found out about Delaware. So I joined the Delaware Air National Guard back in 2002.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was there for about 7 years before you got there.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Well, I didn't know you was in the Army too.
Yes, crazy. Cool. I give credit to all the soldiers because that is something different.
Yeah, right. That is not something that you're going to do forever.
No, I couldn't do it. My brother told me back in 94 that I needed to go to the Air Force. He was right.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's a vet too. He did 26 in the Army.
Okay.
So yeah. So he knew, and he knew his sister. Okay.
Gotcha.
So
yes. how many siblings do you have?
I have my older brother, Chris. Okay. I have my older sister, Felicia, and I have my younger sister, Faith.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And so Felicia also was in the Air Guard. I think you may have met her before she left. She's in New York now.
Okay. I'll probably have to see a picture.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So anyway, in 2004, I bought a house. I did not have a really good experience at all. And so I saw a sign that said real estate class is forming now. And I said, you know what, let me go and see what this real estate thing is about because my experience was horrible.
Right.
So I joined the course. It was in Maryland. So that was my very first license. Okay. And so it just kind of went from there. So that was 2004. I got licensed. 2005 was my first actual sale.
Okay.
And it just went on from there. I got licensed in Delaware. Then I got licensed in Pennsylvania. Then I got licensed in New Jersey.
Because you're originally from Jersey, right?
Yes, I'm a Jersey girl.
Yeah. Okay, so you have two people on here. One person from Florida, which is me. One person from Jersey. We get along so well, man. It's
right. Because I'm from South Jersey. We're kind of laid back,
Yeah.
Florida's laid back. I think that's why we get along.
She got that southern twang to her, but I could definitely pick up on the Jersey for sure.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And I had a chance to. I didn't meet her whole family, but I had a chance to meet her family a few months ago.
Oh my God!
And I see where the coolness came from. For sure. I like your whole family is dope, man. I love it.
They're crazy, but it's fun. It's fun.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. So you retired from the Air Guard. We have some other similarities. We came at the same time, both active duty, 1994, and we both transitioned to the Guard.
The Guard, yeah.
I went to school or whatever, but we graduated. I mean, not graduated, but we retired the same year too, correct? So I was 2016.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I was, it was official 1 December of 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I retired the January, the first part of the year. You retired at the end.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Yes.
And her husband, actually, he's a retired chief. Yeah, he was in the Air Force. So a lot of military here for sure. He's cool.
Yeah, he's real cool. He's real cool.
Merges together.
He did
All right,
38
cool.
years
And
total. Yep.
I know you from Jersey, and we got to talk about it. There's no way we could get on this podcast and not talk about your team, that the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I mean?
Boys.
So tell me how that happened. You're from Jersey.
Yes.
So you're
South
Eagles.
Jersey.
Let's hear about it.
Right. So of course, South Jersey, we don't have a team. So,
right.
Our local team is the Eagles, obviously, Philly.
Right. Right there.
Yeah, right there, right across the Ben Franklin, Walt Whitman. Really, the Walt Whitman is how I got up into Philly. But how did I get into it? My dad and my brother watched football. We had one TV. Growing up, we had one TV in the house for a long time. Every Sunday, it seemed like all day long, football was on TV.
Right.
So my dad's team was the Eagles. My brother's team was the Cowboys. God bless them. And and it was, I don't know, I think just, watching them. And I think what really transitioned me into becoming an Eagles fan is when I met some of the Eagles. I met Reggie White.
Okay.
I even met Buddy Ryan, the coach.
Gotcha.
I met, so it was like kind of that era. So I met some of those guys. So now, I'm watching them on TV, but I actually got a chance to meet them. I don't know. I can't really remember because I was really young, but I remember they came to our church in Williamstown. And I'm pretty sure it was the pastor who was good friends with someone. I'm not exactly sure who, but he had a lot of the Eagles come.
Okay.
And they came. And so then now I can see these people and I kind of translate it into, now I kind of get it, who they are when I see them, that kind of thing. And then I will tell you, I worked at McDonald's when I was 16, and Reggie White, right? Reggie White came through the drive-through.
No way.
Yes. And everybody knew. It was in Pittman, New Jersey. Everybody knew his truck. I was, kind of new on the team. And they were like, it's Reggie White. And I'm like, get out of here. It's Reggie White. Right. So it kind of grew from that, from actually meeting them and then seeing them on TV and knowing what they do. And I mean, it's been since probably 15 years old. I've been a diehard Eagles fan. Yeah.
That's cool. And the funny part about it is her husband is a 49ers fan. So that was interesting this year.
He is from Delaware.
Right.
I don't understand how you become a Niners fan from Delaware. But the same thing with my brother. He's a Cowboys fan. Right. So for them, I know it all was same thing kind of with me, with players. Right. Tony Dorsett was my brother's, Jerry Rice was my husband's, kind of motivation. So that's how their love, for their teams. But I mean, they're die hard.
Right.
We go at it in this house.
Yeah. That's cool. That's one thing I can say I love about sports is just even the conversation we're having right now, because I think it goes beyond just your race, your culture. It kind of all merges together, and it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. When you're wearing that jersey, you're wearing that T-shirt or that hat that represent a team. And I love the fact that everyone is not the same fan of the same team. To me, I think that's dope when it's like that, because I mean, that'll be boring, right? Everyone liked the same team. But the same thing with us in Jacksonville, at that time, we didn't have a pro team. We didn't have a pro team until I was already an adult. You like whoever, the 49ers, the Cowboys, not even so much the Eagles. Tampa, there was a terrible team at the time. So it's like you had to kind of pick and choose. But in Florida, we were more so in college. So we have a lot of colleges and stuff that's there too. And just like everyone else knows, I became an Eagles fan when Brian Dawkins actually is from Jacksonville. Lito Shepherd's from Jacksonville. Carmichael's from Jacksonville. So we have a lot of players top end Eagles players that's from Jacksonville. And it was kind of like a natural flow. And at the time, I was real big into defense. And of course, when B-Dawk came to the team, I'm like, I kind of like the Eagles hustle, man. And so I naturally gravitated towards liking the Eagles. But that's cool, Monica. I'm glad we got that out of the way. So we can't get on the phone call without talking about the Eagles.
Talking about those Eagles. That's right.
That's right. But one thing I want to say, Monica, that I really admire about you, ever since I've known you to be a part of real estate, we had a chance to have multiple conversations. But there's a few things that stands out to me about you. Number one is the fact that you're okay with staying relevant to the new market. That's keeping yourself modern to what's going on at the time when it comes to real estate, and always looking for what's new, what's the new trend. How can I stay relevant in the game, and not even with real estate, but just in general. So even though we met each other in the military, you wasn't afraid to go after something new, something that made you maybe a little uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And to me, anytime I meet someone that's like that, you stand out, because especially being in the military, we're taught, okay, we do things this way.
Right.
You have to stay within this box. And that's one thing I didn't like about being in the military, because you can't really make changes, unless the Air Force or Uncle Sam say you can do that, you're not really allowed to. And I felt like I was trapped. And when I met you, I'm like, we got something in common there, man. That's cool that she's like that. So anytime I used to take a call with you, I'm like, okay, Monica, what are you doing now? What you got going on? Because it's like you were never afraid to do something new or try something that's going to help you and your family out. And I always admired that about you. So where did you get that from? I mean, how did that start?
Gary, I think that goes back to my grandparents, specifically my grandfathers. Okay, so they were both entrepreneurs. So my paternal grandfather, I've never known him to have a regular job. From what I can remember, Pop had H. Williams and Son. They did construction.
Okay.
So Pop did his own thing on his own terms. Okay. And then there was many a days that I got off that school bus and Pop was in the back, farming the land. So he was not somebody, who 9 to 5. He didn't do the 9 to 5. And the thing that I really admired about Pop Williams was the fact that he made sure he had 3 boys, and he made sure all 3 of his boys had a trade. So you guys can do whatever you want, but you're going to have a trade so that you have something to fall back on. So I think that kind of, just stuck in my mind, because even though I was in the military, I needed something to fall back on. Do you know what I mean? So, because I knew there was going to be a day that I got out. And when I got out, in the Guard, when you're AGR, just like active duty, you start off with 50% of your base pay when you retire.
Right.
Well, 50% of my base pay wasn't going to afford me the lifestyle that I liked, and then the lifestyle that I wanted. So I knew I could have something to back me up. And so it kind of went back to what Pop said, you got to have that trade, or you got to have something else to fall back on. So I kind of overlapped being a realtor and being in the military for 12 years.
Same thing with me.
Yeah. And it was kind of, just a little thing. Like I said, my motivation was to find out kind of if I got screwed on my deal, which I found out I did. But when I got that first check as a single mom, I was like, hold up now. I could turn this into something. So then my maternal grandfather was the same way. He worked at Sun Oil for years. And then he had a truck, an 18-wheeler. And so then he had his side business.
Right.
So they kind of always told me, have something. You got to have that backup. Okay.
Right.
I didn't plan it. It just kind of happened. And then I turned around and loved it. So I would say everything kind of goes back to my paternal grandfathers and my father. He did the same thing. My dad, concrete mason, by trade. And he sold cars. He did side jobs, so I guess the hustle's just there.
I can see that. He has him and your uncle. What was your uncle that I met? What was
Uncle
his name?
Calvin.
Yeah. Cool, man. But I could just tell this extreme outgoing. I'm like, so I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the electrician. Yep.
Yeah. That's dope, man. Yeah. And it's because it's like one of those things. I would say I doubt that there's something that could be taught. Sometimes it's something that's internal inside of someone to have that feeling. And I've always felt that way. And it's not like I grew up around a bunch of entrepreneurs. Everyone I grew up around was like, all right, we're going to go work here. We're going to work here for 30 years.
Right.
Eventually I'm going to retire. And that's when I'm going to start having fun.
Exactly.
And to me, I didn't like that. I didn't like that setup whatsoever. So that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say about you, Monica, is the fact that when we work in a transaction together and the level of care that you have with your clients, and that's another thing to admire, because I've, being in my position as a broker, we work with quite a few different real estate agents,
Yeah.
and not everyone isn't as caring to the client like I see with you. And I think that just something that I guess by me being from Florida, that Southern comfort that we have, that mentality that we have, that really taking care of our people, that customer service that I think we naturally have because you know where we're from.
Right.
You have that in you to a certain degree, and I'm like, okay, I think that's good because when you're working with someone that's buying a home, a primary residence for the most part, you need to have someone that cares about what you're looking to purchase, right?
Right.
And if that person is looking to buy something for their family, you need someone that's there that understands that, not just to make a sale. And I never really believed in that. Okay, well, if you don't feel comfortable with that home, let's keep looking. And the fact that you as a real estate agent, you definitely have that in you naturally. And just like I said, I love seeing you work. So how did that come about? Just you just having that love of care for your clients. And she did that in the military too, by the way, but go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Gary. Yes, I did try, and the military is something different, as we know. But at the same time, you know what I mean? People need it. People need care. People need somebody to give a damn, right? So when you're buying a house, it's the largest purchase. I know it sounds cliche, but it is probably the largest purchase of your life.
True.
And like I said, when I bought my house, it was a horrible experience. And I just don't want that for other people. And one of the things that I find when I sell a house, especially to a first-time home buyer, that feeling that they have, that they just closed on a house, they have a home, they have something, for their family. I kind of get to relive that over and over and over and over again.
Correct.
So to me, it's just like what I don't want is someone to get into a house, feel like I pushed them into a house. They're not happy because, word of mouth can kill you.
For sure.
It can kill your business. So no, it's very important to me that they get the home that they want, that they're very comfortable and they're happy. And I think like the best part of my job is not even like one getting up to the table, it's after the table. When they call and say, "Hey, Monica, come see what I did to the house."
Right.
And I get to go over and hang out and fellowship with my, clients and, become friends. I know the whole family. We've been together for like a month or two. And, I recently just had one of my clients call me and say, I'm thinking, is everything okay with the house? Because we closed. And he goes, "Yeah, but I just got so used to talking to you just about every day." So, I mean, it's just now that part, where does that come from? That's probably the women in my family, the care, the compassion, but not only that, my own experience, and although that was back in 2004, I still feel, the same way. Like you got to make people feel like you care.
Right.
Because I can care, but I need them to feel like I care. I need them to know that I do. I need them to know that they can pick up the phone, call me, and we're going to work this thing out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. You mentioned something that was extremely valuable. The fact that how many friends did you pick up by being in transactions? You know what I mean? And it happens all the time because like you said, you spend so much time with them and you know so much about them.
Yes.
Whether they want you to know that or not, especially from my end. And so I would say I picked up a lot of friends, and I could tell the same thing. Like anytime I work with your clients, it's almost like it almost feels as though you guys was friends first before you became a realtor. And a lot of times that's just not the case. I'm like, man, it seemed like they've known each other forever. Like
just met them. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I know what they're going through. And I did it as a single woman, a single mom with 2 kids.
Right.
So I treat every single one of my clients the way I wish I was treated when I was buying my house as a single mom with 2 kids. Like, there's a lot of things that I had no idea about. So, when we go into these homes, I try and tell people like, okay, I'm not a home inspector by any means, but being around my dad and my uncles, I know a little bit. enough to be dangerous, So we'll go through the houses. And my first thing is, let's do that first pass. Let's check it out to see if, do you like the layout? Do you like, the size of the rooms? Do you like all of these things? If they like all of that, now let's do a second pass, because now I'm looking for everything that's wrong. Right. What can we see? What can we see that's wrong? If we can't find anything wrong, or if it's something minor, then it's time, to move forward, because I bought a house that had a wet basement. I didn't know it had a wet basement.
Right.
So now I can sniff that out a mile away. I know when it's being covered up.
Right.
We're
going down to the basement right now. I'm not worried about the kitchen. Let's go straight to the basement to make sure there's no wet basement.
Yes, because a wet basement is horrifying. I mean, it's just nothing you can do. I mean, you're going to spend some money. It got to the point where my dad, we dug up that house down to the footers. And my dad went and waterproofed it from the outside in. That was the only way to fix it.
Right.
A very expensive fix.
Yeah,
and I just don't want clients to get into that. Like, let's mitigate what we can mitigate. Let's see what we can see before you start putting your money into it. Because like, once you have that home inspection, you can't get that money back.
Correct.
And so let me at least tell you what I know for sure. And then, we can kind of take it from there. Right. But I'm trying to help you keep the money in your pocket, because like I said, you pay for that home inspection, it's over. Right. And then we go to the next house. Where you going to pay for another one? Don't like that one, go to the next house. We're talking, $600 a pop.
And not only that, it's not like you're going to identify every problem with the house. You could have an inspection done every single day and something still is going to go astray. Yeah. So to minimize that as much as possible is so important. And it's funny because it's hitting home when we talk about the basement, because we moved into our house. That's the first thing we had to get taken care of was the basement. Within a month, we had to get it waterproof, and let's move past that. that was pretty expensive to get.
It's expensive, and it's like I said, it's not something that I'm not a home inspector, but I can sniff out some water.
Right. Yeah. Sure. You can smell it. You can smell the mold and stuff like that.
Yes. And there's signs in the basement that a lot of people don't see, because when you go into the house as a buyer, you're just so excited, right? And you're not looking for those things. So that's what I do.
Right. But now, Monica, when I hear about realtors, all you guys do is drive around and show houses.
Yeah. Open a door. We just open a door, and then we magically get to the table and get a big old check. That's all we do.
Walk around, let me know you like it or not. I'll be in the car making some calls.
Yeah. I'm writing the offer. Yeah. It's okay.
Shouts out to the agents that really do that.
Yes. Get yours while you can, I guess.
Right. That's right. Well, Monica, that's what I know of right now. And I know you have some cool things that you're working on for the future. And I know you have some, I'm not sure how deep you want to get into what you got going on now, but let the people know what Monica's doing as we speak.
Right now, as we speak, I am applying for my Pennsylvania broker's license.
Okay.
So I have a broker's license in Delaware.
Gotcha.
While I was on vacation in Myrtle Beach, my husband was so gracious. We drove out to Charleston and I took my exam for Maryland. So I became a Maryland broker.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes. While on vacation. And so now I'm getting my Pennsylvania broker's license. I am also, we'll see what happens, because yesterday was the education committee's meeting.
Okay.
I applied to become an instructor for the state of Delaware.
Let's go.
So we shall see. Yeah. We shall see what happens. So I got a couple of things I'm trying to do, Gary. I like short-term schools, right? That's how I ended up being a realtor, because when they told me it was only X amount of weeks, I was like, great. So I just like to continue to learn, continue, to kind of better myself in my craft. So broker school, I mean, it's pretty much like, it's kind of like your master's degree. You got your bachelor's, you got that first license. And so now that's, the master's. What I'm going to do with it, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I've got the knowledge. I've got the know-how, and if anything happens at my current brokerage, having the broker's license, you can always step in if they need you.
Gotcha. Yeah. And just the fact that you're okay with being in control of your own destiny. And that's another thing that I picked up on you immediately. I'm like, okay, yeah. So we know how to color with it in the box, but we always got plans ahead,
Oh,
what we
absolutely.
plan on doing in the future. And I always thought that was really cool about you, Monica, for sure. All right. So you got some things planned out for this year. So excited to hear all that happens.
Yes.
And, to me, you always been a natural. We just did a seminar. We got a few more coming up, and she's just natural with it, man. But I knew that. And when it was in the military, she used to do a lot of presentations for our unit. And I knew that would be an easy transition for you for sure. All right. Well, Monica, I know you have to go. So I want to jump into just a few other things before we let you out of here. Because like I said, I want your clients your soon-to-be clients to know a little bit more about Monica, not just as a real estate agent. I think when people get a chance to know you as a person, it goes a long way. And so if I'm riding it, because Monica has a Tesla. I just got one, so I just joined the game. So
welcome.
I'm still trying to get used to it. But when you're riding around in that Tesla, what are you listening to? What genre of music that you listen to? Like, tell me a little bit about that. What would I hear if I was to hop in the car with you?
Okay, 90s R&B.
Okay.
So if you got my car right now, I think Jodeci's playing.
Jodeci, okay.
Yeah, Jodeci is playing.
One of my favorite groups, man, for sure.
Yes, I love gospel music. Love gospel music. So you might hear some Dietrich Haddon, some Fred Hammond, some Mary.
Fred Hammond.
Yeah, Fred. Take it back to Commission.
Yeah.
Commission.
I'm
the
with
Winans.
Yeah.
So I love gospel music. And then so pretty much that R&B, and every now and again you're gonna hear some Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
And my all-time favorite song, Hypnotized.
Biggie.
Love it. I don't care what's going on. You put on Hypnotized, everything stops.
That's right, man. That's cool. It's I think music. I love music. I think music says a lot about a person. To me, it kind of tells me what type of person you are by just hearing what genre of music that you listen to. That's not always the case, but think about it. When you hear certain songs, when you hear certain artists, it takes you back to that milestone, right? Whatever you had going on in high school, you remember because that song that was playing. When you were growing up and your mom or your dad used to play certain music, it takes you back to your childhood. And to me, that it goes a long way. And so when I hear, when I ask that question to certain people, just even with my friends, I jump in the car, you'll be surprised what genre of music that people listen to, like big time. Like, I'm like, dude, you listen to the Doobie Brothers? Like,
okay, all right.
You look like a thug. Like, you listen to
not the Doobie Brothers.
But it's funny because and the same thing with you. Since we're in the military, we had a chance to be extremely diverse, regardless if you want to or not.
Right.
But you hear, you with every culture you could think of, every race you could think of, and so you hear different styles and types of music. And to me, I always think that's an interesting question to ask. So I thought I asked you that. So I know you got to get out of here, Monica. I'm going to go ahead and let you do a quick outro of your niche products, what you got going on this year. If you know a certain type of client that you want to start working with, let us know all about that. And then when you're done, give us your IG handle, your Facebook, and let us know how we get in contact with Monica.
All right, Gary. So look, thank you so much for having me again. I really appreciate it. So what am I doing? I'm just out here selling real estate. I'm selling real estate. And I used to say I'm out here selling houses, but recently I got 2 commercial deals.
That's what I want you to talk about.
Yes, 2 commercial deals. I have a 21 unit and a 41 unit apartment building in Wilmington. Nice. And, everything seems to be going well. It's kind of funny. Like I said, I used to just say I sell houses. Now I sell real estate. Real estate. You have a building you want sold, I got you.
That's right.
You want to buy one, I got you.
That's right.
So right now I am forming a team. Okay. So that's my next big thing, because Monica can't be everywhere.
Correct.
I try to be.
And so she would try to.
I try. I do. Look, today I'm going to a listing appointment in Newcastle, Delaware. And then I'm going to show my best friend some houses in Waldorf, Maryland. Okay.
My girl. That's right.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I go anywhere that in Maryland, Delaware, PA, and New Jersey that I'm familiar with. I'm not going somewhere where I don't feel like I can help you. So that's why I'm forming a team. Hopefully bringing on my first team member in Philly. And then I have someone else in South Jersey as well that is working. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. Commercial and building a team is the new things. Again, I'm licensed in Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. I live in Delaware, so I'm, kind of based here, but I will get in my Tesla and ride. That's why I bought it, right? So I can plug it in and keep going. It's not going to put me in the poorhouse. Mm-hmm. Gas, gas will get you. Right. So that's about it right now. If you're out there, you're thinking about real estate and you just like to chat about it, hit me up, give me a call. So where can you find me? Mm-hmm. Gary didn't say anything about this, but we do have a little website. Since we are two retired veterans.
That's right. That's right. That was my bad.
Yeah, that's all right. Look, that's all right. Yeah. So we have a little website that I was like, you know what, Gary, I think we ought to do this because we do want to reach out to our vets, right? Mm-hmm. What's my niche? My niche is everybody who needs a house. Okay. My niche is everybody who wants to sell some real estate because the way I feel about it, I don't want to like kind of pigeonhole myself and then I can't help this person, that person, and I don't stay up on what's going on. So Gary and I will help anyone out there. But you can reach both of us kind of at the same place at www.retiredvets.com. IG, okay, so I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I am horrific when it comes to social media. Right. I don't know what it is.
That's changing in 2024.
I'm working on it. Working on it. Look, I post, and this probably isn't the right algorithm or whatever, but I did make 3 posts in one night on Facebook. But it is what it is. I'm out here. I'm selling houses. I don't have time for social media, but now I'm going to get on it. I'm doing better, people. I'm doing better. So IG is just my name, Monica C. Peterson. Okay. Facebook is Monica Peterson Realtor.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then, like I said, you can always schedule an appointment. If you just want to talk about real estate, if you want to learn about, becoming an agent, if you are an agent and, you want a team leader that's going to help you succeed, give me a call, schedule an appointment.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. And you guys would not be disappointed. As you can see, this is Monica. This is not her representative on this podcast. It's truly her. And it's even better once you get a chance to, hop on a call and do that discovery call with her. And then once you're done, then you move on to the next stage, whatever that stage may be. And it's so important, regardless if you're looking to purchase real estate, not just a home, but looking to purchase real estate, is to make that call now, even if it's for this year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, still set that up so we can put together a strategy for you. But Monica, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Can't wait to have you back again. And this is new for me. I've been doing the audio version of this, and now I transitioned over to YouTube. So, however, I've been around for going on 2 years now with the podcast, but we're looking to definitely increase the subscribers to the channel. So, if you find anything about the podcast that you learn a little nugget from, please share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel so you can receive all of the updates that we do on a weekly basis. But Monica, thank you so much for being on the show. I cannot wait to see what happens, this year with you and your team and your future endeavors. All right.
Thank you so much, Gary. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.